Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and thank you so much for clicking to watch this video. This is the fourth episode of a 5-part series called Little Me Got Married, and I'm so happy that we have made it thus far. My name is Oyinkan for those of you who are new here, and if you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for coming back. I'm really glad to have you here today. So every Wednesday in October so far, I have been posting one of these videos just talking about the realities of being, a person who's anticipating marriage or a newly wedded woman, and just things that can come with that, things we need to unpack one on one, because I myself am, I would say, newlywed. I'm less than 2 years married, and these are just like the realities of things I thought about before getting married and things that I have been experiencing so far in these beginning or these early years of my marriage, and I thought to share. So really, if you are a person who's looking forward to being married, if you're a girlfriend, a fiance, a newly wedded woman, or even a guy really who's also in that season of life, I'm sure that you're going to benefit a lot from these videos. So far we have done 3 episodes, so if you haven't seen any of those, I would implore you to please go back and watch all those 3 episodes. There's a lot to learn. The first one, we spoke about anxiety and uncertainty. In the second one, we spoke about navigating having a man in your space, and in the third one, we spoke about this elephant in the room that is dying to self and submission, and how that applies for us in marriage. So yeah, if you haven't seen any of those 3 episodes, please go back and watch them and engage as well. Okay, so today is episode 4, and this video is going to be so much fun. I had so much fun preparing for this video, and I'm sure you're going to enjoy watching this. And I just want to tell you today that your marriage is normal. Okay, so what is the idea behind this video? Of course, like I always say, I'm not here to give you marriage advice, like general advice that's going to, how to make your marriage work and how to be the perfect wife and all that. No, that's not what I'm here for. However, I'm here to speak to the things that I know that sometimes we feel like we're experiencing alone, and I have found that it's actually a common reality, and we just need to find our sisters who are experiencing these things to be able to feel more comfortable in our realities, right? So today I'm going to be talking about I think 6 things that you might find happening in your young marriage, that based on what you've heard before marriage, or based on what people have said in the books and in the sermons and all those things, you might be feeling bad or guilty about. You might be feeling like, oh my gosh, is something wrong with my own marriage? Not necessarily. Some of these things are actually common experiences that we all share, and so I'm going to be sharing some of those with you today, and I really hope that this video just blesses you and makes you feel more comfortable, gives you a bit more clarity, helps you make better decisions, helps you manage your expectations, because that is the entire goal of this series. So yeah, let's get into it. Let's get into these 6 things that are absolutely normal, even though they might make you feel uncomfortable at first. So I must mention that all these points I'm going to be discussing today are based on like the myths, the expectations, the pressures even that we put on ourselves, or that we've heard from outsiders concerning marriage. And I think I'm just going to jump right into the first one. The first one is, your marriage is normal if your first year of marriage actually feels nice. Like you don't have any problems that are beyond you. Like you guys are doing okay. Your marriage is normal if your first year is okay. A lot of us have heard, oh, the first year of marriage is the hardest year, it's the toughest year. What happens in the first year is what determines how the rest is going to go. It's going to be really, really difficult that first year and all that. And honestly, I think that is a bit of a myth, because we need to understand that we can't make such general statements about marriage. I feel like every marriage is very different and very, unique in the way it unfolds. And so for some people, their first year is so beautiful, but because they have heard that, the first year is supposed to be the tough one, where, you guys are constantly on each other's necks and things like that, then they begin to feel like, oh, maybe we're not doing something right. Maybe there's some conversations we're supposed to be having that we're not having, and that's why we have this fake peace. Like, don't you enjoy peace? Why are you looking for problems where there is peace? Thank God for your portion, that, oh, this first year hasn't been so difficult, it's all good, we're doing okay, and move on and enjoy it. Right on that, okay? As long as you know that you're not faking it, you're not faking the peace, and you don't even need to check too much within yourself. Like, everybody knows what peace is to them. You know yourself. You know when you're genuinely at peace, and you know when it's like, okay, no, this is not it. So if you're genuinely at peace in your first year of marriage, if you guys are getting along, resolving issues very easily, not fighting for long, you're not constantly in tears, then there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. There's no rule in the book that says, oh, your first year of marriage has to be your most difficult year. Besides, why are we even trying to determine which year is the most difficult one? Like, life is in seasons. Some seasons are, easy, and some are the way they are. So just enjoy. Like, if your mindset is to figure out which one is difficult, then trust me, you'll find what you're looking for. But if your mindset is to just enjoy, life as it unfolds, even in the not so comfortable times, then you'll find that everything is okay, and you'll find that you're moving on with life quite easily. Personally, I feel like, even though my first year came with a lot of getting to know each other, getting to try and figure out, okay, what works for both of us, where do we need to come, where does each person need to compromise, things like that. I still wouldn't call it like a difficult year. It was just a very I think tasking. It was deliberate. It forced me to be deliberate. Like, I couldn't just leave things to chance. It forced me to be deliberate. It forced us to be deliberate. But that's all. It wasn't difficult. And so if you're not experiencing difficulty in your first year of marriage, then please know that your marriage is normal and everything is okay. Like, don't look for problems where there are no problems. This next one, I feel like, is going to ruffle a lot of feathers, but somebody has to say it. Your marriage is normal if you guys are not constantly having all the sex in the world in your first year or in your first few months. So there's this whole thing that goes around where they say, oh, like, your first year of marriage, like, you guys can't keep your hands off each other. It's a honeymoon phase and then it dies down later. Look, let's be realistic. You guys go into marriage, you possibly in counseling, you say, okay, we think that ideally we should have sex like twice a week, 3 times a week. Some people will say 7 times a week. I don't look, those numbers things, I don't play number games, okay? So I'm not even going to go into what's ideal and what's not. But a lot of people are actually like under the impression that because you guys are newlyweds, you have to just keep going at it, because human beings are human beings. Human beings get tired. Human beings need a break. Some human beings are more spontaneous than others. Some like to wait things out and then explore those things again and again. Like, people are different. So allow, that intimacy to unfold in the way that it is unfolding. I am not saying that you should get comfortable with neglecting sex in your marriage. But what I am saying, though, is if a week happens and you guys have sex once that week, don't feel like, oh my gosh, she's no longer attracted to me. I'm no longer attracted to him. Everything is going down the drains. Yourself, you would know, like, you would actually know when, a lack of sex or a lack of frequency is becoming a problem, and you will address that. But if you guys are genuinely happy, if you guys are finding other ways to connect, other ways to be intimate, and then sex is only happening, some weeks it's happening really frequently. Some weeks it's like, oh, we only had time once. Some weeks it's like, oh, I'll see you next week. If that is what it is, but you guys are genuinely happy and genuinely intimate, then don't feel like there is a problem, except if it is actually deep. If, like I say, there's nobody that is going to come and tell you that there's a problem in your household. You would know by yourself if something is a problem, if something is constantly causing friction, if there's a lack of something that's supposed to keep you guys going. So if there isn't a lack of it, like an inherent lack of it, then don't stress yourself trying to, just don't stress about it, okay? Like, he's attracted to you, I promise. He is attracted to you. Now, this third one I'm going to talk about is based on pressure, a pressure that, people say it, we kind of see it as like a general rule of the game and how things are supposed to work out. But then we go on to put that pressure on ourselves, and it leads to a lot of drama, sometimes unnecessary drama. And that is, your marriage is normal if you guys are unable to pray together every single day. Okay, look, I understand that, as Christians, we should stay praying and all that. And I believe that as a human being, you need to pray every single day. As an individual, you need to pray every single day. You need to be connected to your Father. The Bible says we should always pray. We should pray without ceasing. But if you and your partner are unable to pray together every single morning, have a family devotion every single morning, blah blah, like, don't put yourself under pressure. Don't feel like you are failing in marriage or you are failing God, because life has its own demands of you. For example, my husband and I, we have like a Sunday session on Sunday evenings where the entire week we do a devotional together. So he does it in his own time, I do it in my own time. But I know that, okay, there's something that we are sharing, or at least we know that there's something that we are sharing throughout the week. We're learning something that is, a common thing, a common value that's going to help our family. And then on Sundays, we come together, we talk about the entire week, how our week has been. Not that we don't talk on a daily basis, right? But we talk about the entire week, how the week has been, how we've seen God move that week. We talk about our devotional for that week and everything we've learned. We go back and forth on, just sharing our understanding of what we've learned. And then we pray together. We address all the things. We have like a list of things that, okay, these are the things we want to thank God for. These are the things we're still expecting. These are the things we want to ask God about. And then we go over all those things and we pray together. But because of our individual schedules, like, it's impossible to do that every single day, and that is okay. So for you guys might be able to do it twice a week. You might be able to do it 3 times a week. If you're able to do every morning, if that's what your schedule allows, then why not? But don't be under pressure to do this every single day, because the last sermon or the last singles conference you went to, they said if the husband and wife are not praying together every single morning and every single night before they go to bed, then that marriage is, come on. God is not petty. That's something I like to say a lot. God is not petty, okay? When you guys need to pray more, like there was a period in our marriage where for an entire week we knew that we had to pray more, and we were praying every single night for an entire week. But when you know that, okay, things are a bit like, I don't want to say normal, but just for lack of a better word, things are normal right now. We are really busy and stuff. As long as you know that, okay, you're praying a lot and your partner is also praying. None of you is just chilling. Don't fall into that trap of the woman is the one who carries the thing and prays. Everybody is expected to pray for the family. Everybody is expected to pray for their individual lives. Praying is where we not only speak to God but hear from God. Okay, so everybody needs to be showing up for their daily prayer time. But that joint time together, like, it is okay if you can't do it every single day. Don't let anybody make you feel like you guys are less spiritual, or you guys do not love God, or you guys do not know how to do marriage because you're not praying together every single day. No pressure. Breathe. Let's breathe. Deep breath. Let's breathe, okay? No pressure. Okay, so moving on, this fourth one is also under the pressure / myth category, and I would like to tell you that your marriage is normal if you are getting tired of the daily management and daily chores of the household, that people told you that, oh my gosh, you have so much joy doing this and that for your husband, doing this and that for your household. If you 2 months, 3 months down the line find out that, oh my gosh, this thing is actually a lot of work and I'm tired and I need help here, don't feel guilty. Don't feel like you're a bad wife, okay? As women, we do a lot of management, and a lot of times it might look like, oh yeah, you're just taking care of the house. But for example, for maybe your monthly groceries, you would have to check all the cabinets in the house, figure out what's not enough, what you need to replace, kind of think about what meals you guys are going to be having the next month and what you want to buy more of and less of, things like that. There's a lot of just that mental, I don't want to say stress, but it's a lot of mental work going on in the background. And then what people see is just, oh, you went to the shop and you bought something, and then on Wednesday you cooked, and then on Friday you cooked. Like, there's a lot of thinking going on behind that. Or even getting your house cleaned, cooking meals for your husband. People will tell you before marriage, oh, don't worry, you're going to enjoy like serving your husband food. When you see him eating the food, you'll be so happy to see that he's enjoying your food, yada yada. Look, we are all human beings. People get tired, okay? People get tired of doing chores, and that is perfectly fine. So if you feel like you're getting a bit tired of like the chores and the management and all that, don't feel like you are a bad wife. Don't feel like you're a bad person. It is okay. What I would say is get help where you can get help. For example, at some point, I knew that I had to get help with cleaning in my house. So I have somebody who comes in every once in a while to help me clean, and then I can just do like the minor cleaning on a day-to-day basis. And I do not feel one bit guilty about it. If where you need extra help is in the food, I know a lot of people, especially as Africans, we say, "Oh, nobody should cook for my husband." Please, as long as you and your partner have had that discussion and it's not a problem, right? Get help. Get all the help you need. If you have to order food every now and then in bulk and keep it in the freezer and warm it, whatever, just get help where you need. Don't feel guilty because as a human being you're getting tired of some things that are becoming, too recurrent or redundant or just stressing you out. Because a lot of times we're expected to also chase careers and chase all these big things. Yeah, we are also expected to be on top of the game when it comes to managing the household. Sometimes it's just a bit stressful to juggle all of that. So please don't feel guilty if you are getting tired. The same way sometimes you get tired at your workplace, even though you prayed for this job and you love this job and you don't want to lose this job, but some days you're just like, I don't want to go to work today, or I wish today was a public holiday. It's the same way you would feel like, oh, I wish we didn't have to do anything in this house today. I wish we could delay grocery shopping for one more week, or I wish the flocks could like automatically clean themselves or things. That is fine. You're not a bad woman. You're not a less of a virtuous woman or less of a Proverbs 31 woman. All the terms they use on us now in this Christian life and how a woman should be and everything. A woman is also deserving of rest, and a woman is also deserving of checking her realities to see what she can continue to do and what she needs help with. So please don't feel bad. Your marriage is normal if you feel like you want some help in certain areas. Now on to number 5. Your marriage is normal if you or your partner still desire to do a few things solo without the other person. Look, the expectation is that now that two have become one, when you eat together. When you watch a movie, you watch a movie together. When you go to the gym, you go to the gym together. When you play a sport, you play the sport together. When you learn a new skill, it's a lot. Like, it is okay to still desire to do things solo, and you shouldn't feel bad if you find that your husband still wants to do a few things solo. Of course, wisdom is profitable to direct. I'm not saying you guys should have extremely detached lives from each other and not share any activities, but there is value in also giving each other space. For example, if I want to watch like a chick flick or a romance movie, and I know that's not my husband's kind of movie, like I won't feel bad because he's not sitting there with me watching it with me. I will watch my thing because that's my me time, right? Me time is such an important thing, whether that is in the house or outside. I know people who do solo trips every year, like they will go to a whole other country for like maybe 3 days to a week by themselves every year because they just really need that solo time. So it's okay to do things alone. It's okay to, just want to pursue certain interests by yourself. Of course, keep your partner up to date on what you're doing. Let them know, okay, I have tennis lessons or swimming lessons every Thursday. I have soccer every Tuesday. But that is fine. Like, you don't have to follow him to every soccer game he has. Like, let the man be. He doesn't have to follow you to every spa day you have and sit in the reception. You need some time for yourself as well. Okay, so if you find that you or your partner are still desiring to travel to do the things you love solo, then don't feel like, oh, maybe you're not figuring out marriage well because now two have become one and everything should be shared. Even in talking about the things you've experienced and in sharing, oh my gosh, I went to this place and I experienced this and that, in sharing that joy with your partner, two are actually becoming one because your partner is sharing in the experience with you by hearing about it firsthand. The way you would narrate certain things even to your partner is just different than how you would narrate it to maybe your friends and other people that you tell about it. So it's okay to share things in that way. If you guys are not constantly going everywhere together, doing everything together, growing at the same pace, that is fine. I mean, I don't think you guys go to work together, right? So yeah, not everything in life must be done together. You are still individuals. You still need to enjoy life and grow as individuals. So your marriage is normal. Your marriage is normal and everything is okay. And that brings me to the 6th and final point for today, which is your marriage is normal if it doesn't look like the next happy couple's marriage. What am I saying? You have these friends, they're a lovely couple and they watch soccer together, they discuss certain things together. There's the other couple that like they make the biggest jokes with each other, and it's just like, yeah, you guys are unhinged. There's the other couple who can get their hands off each other, and like even outside the PDA is heavy. And then there's the other couple who are like constantly serving in church together, and you can see that they're doing it so joyfully. Whereas you and your husband are just maybe traveling together, or you guys know how to have a good time in your home. But then you're comparing, like, oh my gosh, yeah, this woman watches soccer with her husband. Maybe that's why her marriage works. But sincerely, you know that you cannot stand 10 minutes of soccer. Or you know that you're not a PDA girl. You rather keep everything indoors. Don't compare your happiness to someone else's happiness. Don't think that your own brand of happiness is less, viable, or maybe wouldn't stand the test of time compared to someone else's brand of happiness because it looks different than yours. Okay, there is no one way to be happy. I think that's the best way to put it. There's no one way to be happy. There's no one way to thrive. The world is so big. Like, if you think about how vast the world is and how vast our minds are, then you understand that God definitely didn't make us to follow one pattern. The ideal things that we must follow are the things that we have found in the Bible. We must love, we must serve, we must be kind, we must be patient. What kindness looks like between you and your husband is different from what kindness looks like with others. Kindness for you and your husband may be, okay, look, babe, I'm only going to cook once or twice in a week, and you're going to buy us dinner 3 times a week. While kindness in the other marriage may look like, okay, each person is getting a back massage every day of the week. You get what I'm saying? So there's no one way to be happy. There's no one way to be kind. There's no one hard and fixed rule for everybody to follow. So if you are genuinely happy in your marriage, you guys are doing what works for you guys, and it doesn't look like what is happening in the next person's marriage, then that is okay. I'm also not saying that maybe we shouldn't have mentors or role models that we look up to and that we want to emulate certain traits in their marriages. That is fine. It's okay to say, oh, okay, I see that these people are doing this thing and I feel like it's something I genuinely want for myself, not because they are doing it, but because I see the results of it, right? And I know that it's something I genuinely want for myself. So how about we try it out and see if it's something we can do? That is different from feeling like, oh yeah, my partner is not okay and me and my marriage is not okay because we're not doing certain things in a certain way. Don't ever fall into that trap of thinking that there is one way to be happy, there is one way to keep your home going. No, as long as you are following the way of God and diversifying and understanding yourself, understanding your partner, coming together to make that work, to make that make sense, then there's really nothing else you need to be worried about. Everything else will fall in place, okay? Alright, so that brings us to the end of this video. To wrap everything up, I'll just like to say that everyone's experience is different, okay? And so, as long as you are being true to yourself and you're not putting up with any toxic behaviors, that is a very, very, very big and important one. As long as you're being true to yourself and you are not putting up with any toxic or abusive behaviors, then let your marriage unfold the way it wants to unfold. Let things go according to God's plan for you guys in His life. Don't try and say, oh, things are not normal and we have to change everything to fit into a particular template. No two people are the same, no two lives are the same, no two marriages are the same, and no two stories are the same. So it's okay to allow yourself to have your own unique experience of marriage and just figure things out as you go. Remember, we do not do toxic behavior, we do not do dangerous behavior, we do not do abuse. So if those are things that are coming up, then please get all the help you can, get counseling, just get all the help you can, really. And I really hope that everything works out perfectly for all of us. Now, there's so much more stuff like under this topic that I know I haven't touched on. So if there's anything you'd like to bring to my attention or anything that you'd even like all of us to discuss together, then please go ahead and leave that in the comments. I would also like to see what you think about the things we've talked about today. Do you agree with everything I have said? Do you feel like some of these things maybe are a bit tricky? Do you just want to comment? Do you want to talk about it? Please go ahead and leave a comment and I'll be so glad to engage with you in the comments. Another thing that I would like for you to do for me is please like this video, because by liking this, you're making sure that YouTube recommends it to other people who need to see content like this, and that means you're blessing somebody. So please like this video. Also, please share this video with somebody who you know needs it. I'm sure we all have one or two single women or young couples in our circle. So please send this video to somebody who you know needs it. And lastly, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Hit the red subscribe button below, and you can also hit the notification bell beside it so that you are notified every time I post a new video on YouTube. Remember that this is a 5-part series and this is episode 4. So next Wednesday we are coming to the last episode of this series, which I have really enjoyed creating for you guys. Okay, remember also, if you haven't seen episodes 1 to 3, please go back and watch those, and next week we'll come together, round this up, and yeah, see how things go, right? Thank you so much once again for clicking to watch. Thank you so much for your continuous support. I'm so grateful to have you guys here, and yeah, I can't wait to see how the rest of the year unfolds for all of us. I wish you success in everything that you do, especially in your marriages if you are aspiring to be married, or if you're already married and you're watching this. And I will catch you guys on the next one next Wednesday. Till then, stay blessed, stay beautiful. God bless you. I love you. Bye bye.